You break a cup and you're in trouble.
Okay, this is my storage chest of things that I've been collecting over the years to then use to fill in my own space once that period of my life arrives, okay?
You need to get out of the box.
So I have a few things laid out that I consider some of my favorites of my curated collection, some of them being cups, pottery, dishware, knickknacks, and art pieces and prints. I kind of just wanted to go through it and show some of my favorite things. So I guess I'll get into it.
Stop it!
You're not allowed in here. Dingus. Okay, I guess maybe I'll start with my coffee cups. Bless you. My coffee cups. I have thrifted most of these. I'll start off with this one, I guess. All of my cups I have either thrifted or kept kind of since childhood and or even made. There's one that I made myself back in high school, but this one is a cute little pottery, handcrafted little rooster mug. In the same theme, I have this very tall trout mug, hand painted, glaze, another handmade. I wish I could remember where exactly I thrifted these from, but unfortunately I do not, because I have the memory of something with a really bad memory. Me. Okay. This one, surprisingly, is also handcrafted. It's giving, you know, those pottery pieces that are like not like they're made in a factory but they look like ceramic art pieces. This is giving that, but it's actually handmade, which is gorgeous. I love the colors of the glaze that they chose. Just like a gorgeous teal navy almost into this burnt copper and a little bit of sandy sage green. A nice, honestly, I would say this is quite wide enough to be like a matcha mug. Very pretty. While I'm at it, I guess I'll do a little close-up of the other cups. I love that it's just a head right there. And then here's the rooster. I'm gonna save the last ceramic mug I have for last because it's my all-time favorite. So we're gonna move on to, I don't know, what do you call this? These types of mugs. I thrifted this. I know where I thrifted this one from. This is from Flutterby's. And it's like an anniversary mug of what looks to be the sweetest little couple that says, "I'm just a cowboy sweetheart," and we have Cookum with the beautiful fan and her cowboy hubby, and then on the back in Sequapamulu it has an anniversary date of August 8th, 1932 to July 26, 2019. Oh, I saw this and I started to tear up, and I just felt so inclined to take it home because having not ever known these people, it's just like I could feel their love. I can feel it, and like I can give this a good home. So on the same kind of page is this mug, thrifted from the same place. It says, "Grandpas are forever and I'm so glad you're mine," on both sides with this little duck. It's quite a small mug, you know. But I purchased this one for two reasons. The first being it truly reminded me of my own grandpa, Papa Don. And secondly, I do consider myself a grandpa. So I thought it was fitting. If anyone was going to buy it, it was going to be me, right? So I did. Next, I have this glass mug. I thrifted this as a 2-piece. So there were two, and I gave one to Charlie. I know she still has it. where in her house it is. I don't know. But it's got these cute little bees on it. And actually, my grandma, my Oma, one day, like years after I thrifted this, came up to me with a vase, a glass vase with these same bees on it. And without her knowing that I had this mug, she just offered if I wanted to take it. So I did, and it's just down in the kitchen with our other vases. But I thought that was really funny how, you know, coincidentally she had a similar piece. So now they're kind of like a set, and that makes me feel nice. Second to last mug, I made this one in high school, actually. I was so extremely, and still to this day, very proud of this mug, but it is a little funky, a little warpy. I have my initials and the date of when I made it on the bottom, 2019. And it's a very simple mug, you know, nothing too crazy about it. It's just got a little silhouette of these little pine trees around it. And I did actually trim the base. You know, I put effort into it, and there is a crack here, but you know, that adds character. So before I show the very last mug, I'll just do a little close-up of the mugs I just went over. Here's the grandpa mug. It's like the perfect size for like a nice little tea. Little pussy willows on there. And then of course, grandpa and grandma. It's a very simple mug, but you know, it just feels nice to have this in my collection because I love the pieces that I collect with all my heart. And it makes me feel good to know that like this cup, they don't know that I have it, but it makes me feel good to know that I am still going to continue to love this mug. And it's giving me joy, and that they are the source of that. Thank you. Last mug, drum roll, for my favorite of all time. So this mug has been with me for as long as I can remember, okay? Backstory, as a kid in our first house on Briarwood, I, right before bed, would come upstairs to ask my mom for honey tea. And honey tea in our house was basically just warm milk with honey to sweeten, and I would drink it every night in this little Dalmatian mug. And it's, looking at this mug like brings tears to my eyes because I just feel so much joy from this mug and the memories that it holds and the beautiful iridescence chrome rainbow effect that the glaze has, and like there's highlights of gold and just like the color, this like periwinkle blue with the butterflies and the little spirals, and just the look on the little dog's face. So gorgeous, and such like a nice little mug. Like, it fits perfectly in my hands. I could not describe a more perfect mug, in my opinion. If I were to have children, with which I don't believe I ever will, this would be something that I would hand down to them. This mug, I can't even express in words how much love I have for this piece of art. Just so good. Okay, the mugs are done. The mugs are out of the way. I'm gonna speed run some of the kitchen type things. Most of them I just left in the bin because it's just your standard knives and cutting boards and bowls and stuff. Nothing worth talking about, but I did pull out some of the favorites that I have, starting with these two little sauce dishes, or like condiment, or like little side dish bowls. Very gorgeous olive green. Don't remember where I thrifted these from, but you know, there's factory made, nothing too crazy about them. I just thought they were nice. In the same realm, I have these two amber bowls. I thrifted these from Flutterby's too, I believe, and I just really love the color and how they kind of fade up the glass. Very pretty. Like a nice little oatmeal, or just like a little, I don't know, like what do you put in these? Like, they're just cute, okay? Up next, I have this little Timothy Rabbit soup bowl, and it's just got a little poem all around it. When I saw this, I don't know where I got this from, or I believe actually this was handed down to me from my Oma, but I didn't have the heart to get rid of it because like, it's just so nostalgic. As a kid, like, I am so grateful to have like eaten soup from these bowls growing up, because like it's something so mundane, but when you really think about it, like it just warms my heart to say that I experienced that as a kid. I remember going to Marlene's house and she'd make like a broccoli cheese soup, and she would have these bowls to serve us. And like there's something so special about this specific style of bowl over just like a regular IKEA bowl, you know what I mean? So inside as well, I have a few, actually no, these are all stolen. I have a couple tiny spoons, okay? These are like little latte cappuccino spoons. I stole from a hotel. I will not say which hotel I stole them from, but you know, they have the coffee bars in the hotels and they're just there, so I took them. And then these ones I stole also not from a hotel, but from a retail place. And like this size, I'm obsessed with tiny cutlery. I eat my yogurt, I eat my ice cream. Sometimes if I'm having a hot chocolate and like I feel like a kid, I will take the tiny spoon and like slurp the hot chocolate with the tiny spoon. Like, don't judge me, okay? The last spoon I have is this little soup spoon, and I thought I'd include it because it has this tiny little chicken on it. Here, hold on. It's got this like little chicken guy. You get the idea, okay? He's just he's almost like a penguin. I don't know. He's a little cute guy. So, I don't know. My goal is to have, it's like, I don't want matching cutlery. Something about having random pieces of cutlery is so nice to me. It's just like, I like the obscureness and the chaoticness of things that don't match. Like, I get matching things and like having matching cutlery and dishware and stuff. I understand it, but I feel like when you can find that perfect balance of like mixed matched items that go together so well yet they aren't identical, it just like it tickles my brain so much. So like this is my first piece of my mixed matched cutlery drawer along with my tiny spoons. Moving on to, oh actually let me do this teapot, so incredibly gorgeous. I thrifted from Value Village. It's got some weight to it. Put your green tea in there, steep it up. It's got the little tea bag in there. I mean, like, I saw this and the color just spoke to me, and the design on the exterior, it's just, I love this with all my heart. And it's like, you can tell that it's been used before from the staining on the bottom. Like, it's been loved. It's like so special to me that items carry memories and emotions. And to me, I want to continue that on. I want to carry that on with the years that I will be using these items from here on out, right? Like, you get what I'm saying. It's just special, okay? I think my mom gave these to me. She was going through our kitchen and she asked if I wanted these. And at first I had no fucking clue what she was talking about. It was like this box. And on the outside, there are these metallic chrome horses that I would assume are like cutlery, like little rest things. Like, think of like chopstick holders, like that idea. But these aren't horses, okay? These are oddly deformed wiener dogs. Look at them! He's so slinky! Like, I don't know what the overall purpose of these are besides resting cutlery on them. And like, yeah, sure, that's probably what I will use them for when I get the chance. But in the meantime, I'm just glad they exist because they're so silly. And there are 6 of them. So like when my friends come over for a dinner party, I can just like, or even as like a napkin holder or something, I'll just like hand them a little wiener dog And then they can each give them a name, and it'll be like their little pal for the night until they have to go home. And like, I don't know, maybe I can assign a special wiener dog for each of my friends, and then it's just like their partners in crime. I don't know, I'm getting too into it, but it just makes me happy. This is a really pretty toothbrush holder. Again, I got this from Flutterby's too, and it's got some nice little ferns on them. I just thought it was really sweet, very me vibe. So I couldn't say no when I was at the thrift. And then the last thing that I would consider, it needs a clean, okay? But I would consider this one of my most prized thrift finds. It's this adorable salmon soap holder. Like, excuse me? This is the epitome of me as a soap holder, okay? Anything that has a fucking fish on it has my name on it. I think I screamed and did like a backflip or something when I got this from the SPCA thrift. I remember I was with my mom and I saw it and I went like running to her. I was like, Mom, 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 Mom. She was like, you gotta get it now, Raina. And she was right. And I'm so glad I did. Those are like the home pieces. I guess I have one more, but I don't know what category it would go in. My mom found this. It's like a necklace holder. It's very industrial, ancient kind of vibes. Like, I think it was hers to begin with, my mom's. She was gonna give it away. I said, no, it's cute. I could use it for something. I mean, I have a jewelry box now, but I don't know. To think of having your jewelry on display on this thing is kind of nice. I liked the hammered bottom at the base. Has a lot of character and funk, and it's pretty. You can see the details of this. It's quite textured and all that. Very, very pretty. On to the art. My favorite part, probably. Most of these are my great aunt's art pieces. She was a gouache artist, and her art, I don't have the words to express how much her art makes me feel things. She was such a talented woman, along with being an incredible storyteller. Some of the art pieces that I have of hers had been handed down to me from other family members, and others she gave to me personally, which makes me feel very sentimental and emotional. I didn't spend a whole lot of time growing up with her, considering that she lived in Nova Scotia, but the few times that she would come out west to visit was really special. I felt really connected to her. Being like a taller kid growing up, she actually would make me feel more comfortable with myself because she also was a very tall woman with very large feet. She would tend to joke about the size of her feet and be like, oh, Raina, you don't have to be worried about that. I have size 11 women's feet. And I was like, holy shit. Just things like that, like happy memories. So to have these pieces of hers to then cover my own space with her work is just very, very special. So I guess I'll start with this one. This is gouache. It's called Meringues. Am I saying that right? Meringues. I don't know. But it's just like a a painting of two oysters, which I thought was nice. I like the color palette she used in the yellows and the blues. Very nice contrast. This one actually is very special to me because my own grandma would have this in her house growing up. It's called Granny Odalisque, saying, old is sexy, women can still be alluring and mysterious, and we're always allowed to wear red! Exclamation point. Yeah, my Nanny Fran, she had this hanging in her house up at River Shore. And I remember as a kid, you can see that she's got her boob hanging out. Like, respect. But as a kid, I was like, oh my god, she has her boob hanging out. So I always thought that this photo was a painting of like a ballerina because her red shoes gave me those vibes. And it's just one of those paintings that I have a lot of dear memories attached to it, and it does kind of resemble my memory of her in the gray wavy hair and the scarf around her head. It does remind me of my Auntie Ginia. Another sweet one is this. This one is called A Walk in the Garden. It's just a nice little gouache of 3 white geese hanging out at the little pond. Very sweet. My second favorite is this one. This is called The Way to the Pond. These two go together nicely, actually. But it's like a gouache of a little golden retriever dog. The composition of this is just gorgeous. I love the abstract transition into the foreground and the background and the sea and the ocean. It's just very, very beautiful work. It's a very special painting. I love the pansies or whatever kind of flower those are. And the detailing is just... I love this piece so much. And on to the last print I have of hers is my most favorite. This one she dedicated to me. It's called Room on the Red Blanket. I'll give you a close-up in a second, but it's a lady cozying up in her bed with how many dogs? Oh, she's got 2 dogs and a cat reading a book. And I feel like she just knew. I'm getting like teary-eyed just talking about this, but like she had to have known that this is just, it's just me. Like, this is me in a painting. And I feel so emotional looking at this and knowing that she painted it. The description is, some Saturday mornings, it isn't in the cards to get out of bed, no matter how nice a day. And if you won't get up, then the pups and the cat will soon join you. Just makes me very happy. This is one of those pieces that I don't think I'd ever want to take out of the foil. Though I know I will, because that's the only way to truly love something, is to unveil it, you know, and I don't know, this is just so incredibly special to me. The color palette of this, the warm tones in the blanket and in the dog and in her hair, it's very, very special. So now that I've shed my daily tear, I guess I only have one last thing of all of the things that I want to show you, but this I just thrifted. It's just a simple print. I think I also thrifted this from Flutterby's for $1. It's got the dollar tag on the back, but it's just a beautiful drawing portrait of a boat. I love the detail in this. This is the HMS Victory, HM Dockyard, Portsmouth, Hampshire. The calligraphy at the bottom is far too fine for me to read, but you can see, oh my gosh, just the line work of this is incredible. You can see there's some people in the foreground and stuff, and then the buildings in the back. It's just very, very astounding. Here's a close-up. The fucking Union Jack. I don't know. But I thought it was cool at the time. I'm not too sure what exactly I'd do with it, but it kind of spoke to me in the moment, so I purchased it for $1. So that's basically all of the things that I consider a proud part of my collection, just things that genuinely make me happy. Of course, I have a lot more, but they're more mundane, like I said, just like your knives and your cooking bowls, and like, I mean, I've got plastic Tupperware containers and stuff, and random things that you'd find use in like a house or a home. They're just things. Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of wanted to make a video about it and rant about things that make me happy, because I think that's important sometimes, is just to talk to yourself and come to terms with what brings you joy and why they bring you joy, and just express that out into the universe, because I think that's healthy. So yeah, maybe I'll try to get into this habit more. I try not to be too excessive when collecting things or thrifting things. I try my hardest to actually reflect and be like, okay, well, will I use this? Is this something I genuinely want and will find use in, or is it just junk that I'm using as, you know, passing serotonin in the everyday life? I don't want to get into the bad habit of just purchasing things to be happy for a few minutes and then just have them pile up and all that. I like to think that my space is an expression of myself, and I like to think that the things that I have in my collection are expressions of that. And that's definitely a goal and a dream that I have, is to be very expressive in the things that I like and not to feel shame in what I enjoy, because I know that whoever I invite into my home, my future home, they'll understand that and they'll respect it, and hopefully they'll, you know, acknowledge my love for it and find love in it themselves. So yeah, it's Friday today. Have a good weekend. Love you.